Hey, what's going on? It's your girl, Miss DJ Hoodie, getting at you guys in my whip. Driving Uber right now. I'm parked and the time right now is 12:16. It's midnight and yeah, just waiting for rides. And I like to welcome you guys to the Why Run podcast here at thekivas.fm. I am your host, Miss DJ Hoodie. And yeah, welcome to part 2 of We Don't Know. Yeah, and if you missed part 1, I will for sure put a link so you guys can go check it out. It has to do mostly, I had no intentions of having it revolve around Lifetime's documentary of the surviving R. Kelly. And yeah, I kind of went in with talking about Sparkle and Aaliyah Okay, let's see here. I guess you guys are gonna be coming with me on a ride. I hope you guys don't mind. Yeah, but you know what? I should probably just let this go because I usually have like music playing, so yeah, for my passengers, because they don't like the silence and the awkwardness. Let's see. I'll be there in like 5 minutes. That's what it says. But yeah, you know what? I'll just go ahead and let this go. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Peace.
Killbox Studios. Yeah. What up? Pressure. Representing my homie, DJ Miss Hoodie. What's good? The girl get a grind on, man, for real. Check it. Queens in the building. Stand up. Tell me, have you seen her? Who stepped in the arena? Miss Hoodie serving, he crossed the net like Serena. And everything she play is great, so let the haters hate. Virus to their database, scrambling their data rate. Plus I got your back like scoliosis. Pressure got the antidote, be careful of the dosage. The girl is everywhere, yup, every known geography. Plus she get a swerve on with zero toxicology. The hottest beat, Hoodie and Pressure in the building. Of course the competition's mad, we meant to hurt your feelings. We see through all the politics, the truth is so revealing. We underground as hell, you hear us banging on the ceiling. Queens representative, Arizona resident, call up a detective. Truth is in the evidence and evidently present is a force that makes you hesitant. Miss Hoodie's red light is on, destruction is imminent. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.
Hey, what's up? I am back, and what's so crazy is I just dropped this guy off at the very same place that I was like an hour ago. It's crazy. And the previous ride, I tried to make my way back to the middle of the valley, and when I got there, it was this last guy, and I came literally back to the same area. That's kind of annoying, but I mean, it's fine. I'm making my way back to the middle of the valley. Once again, I'm just gonna take my time. Probably gonna do one more ride, and I think that will be it for the end of the night. The time right now is 12:46, and I'm getting on the highway and back on with the podcast. I apologize, you guys. So let's see, I'm trying to go like super slow because I just put in gas. I got like a full tank So yeah, I'm not trying to like kill all my gas right away. But anyways, so what I was saying was check out part 1 to We Don't Know part 1 on the Why Run podcast. And as I said, it's about R. Kelly, Aaliyah, and Sparkle. Go check it out. And in this podcast, I'm going to be talking about my experience in abuse, I guess. I wasn't like physically abused as far as like being hit or well, I guess so, maybe in a way, picked on, but I don't think I'd call it like physical. In that way. I would say, however, sexually, well, molested, touched, and the emotional and mental abuse. I think I've said all of this before, but if you guys missed all of that, I came out with this like years ago, and it's true. I was touched and forced to do things that I didn't understand as a child, and it was by family members, and I would go into it, but I'm not going to. It's just something that I went through when I was a kid, like maybe 7 years old. And I was told that it was called playing. Okay, and I had absolutely no clue what it really was. I was just told it was called playing. And it happened for, I would say, like a couple years. Yeah, and I'm just thankful that, well, let me say this. I'm thankful that I didn't let it corrupt me in a negative way, because I know that when people go through things, or maybe it was because I didn't understand it, and then when I did, I just kind of went through all of the emotions, and I didn't pretend. Well, I would be lying if I said that. Gosh, I don't know why I didn't have the natural reaction, I guess, if I could even call it a natural reaction. When people get molested or sexually abused, or it's like people just kind of carry that with them. But I think because I was very, very, very young and didn't know what it was for the longest time, I guess it just had a different, I guess it did something to me from when I first found out. And then it was just kind of like I was just dead inside about it. I don't think, well, I know that sounds like not healthy, but I would like to think, or maybe that's just denial. I mean, if there's any psychiatrists out there that are analyzing me right now, would probably say that I'm in denial when I feel like it made me strong mentally and I'll explain that in a little bit. But I did not know what sex was at that age. At 7 years old up until, this is quite embarrassing, I did not know what sex was until I was in 10th grade in high school. Very, very embarrassing. And what's so crazy was that once I found out what sex was, I analyzed my childhood, and it was around me everywhere, and I had no idea, absolutely no idea what the heck was, what, oh my gosh. I'll start from the beginning. I remember when I was in 4th grade, I had a friend. She was actually a neighbor, and she was a grade under. So she was in 3rd grade, I was in 4th grade. And she came to school one time with lollipops, and she was like handing them out to like her friends, and I was the type of kid that was, she was like my only friend. And even though she was in a different grade, like I never had friends. I wasn't friends with my classmates. I was just a very quiet child. I learned differently. Like, I caught on to things very, very late. And I think, well, I know because of that, teachers thought that I was slow. Like, something was wrong with me mentally. Like, I just had a different way of learning. And it was just always difficult for me to catch on to things. And it's probably why I didn't know what sex was. Like, I just, But anyhow, my friend, she came to school with lollipops, or suckers, and she was handing them out to all her friends. And, I didn't know her friends. I didn't know anybody. Like I said, she was like my only friend. And, when you're a kid, when you when you see like candy, or like, all you know is that you want one. In their case, it represented something, if you get what I'm saying, kid. And she said something to like all of her girlfriends, and I was in attendance, and she was like, I know how you can get boys to like you. And then all the girls were like, what, how, like, tell us how. And she's like, just go up to your crush and just suck on the lollipop, like just suck on the sucker, and like do it like this, and do it slow. And so she kind of demonstrated, and me, like I was already like sucking on my sucker, but like I was just looking at her like, what's the point of all of that? Like, I just didn't get it. And all the girls, they were like blushing and giggling and like, oh my god, and like all of them got it, and I was just looking at her like, what the heck? How does this make guys like you? Like, I just couldn't, my mind was not there, like it, that's kind of, I wasn't introduced to that, like I had no idea. And so like all the girls started doing that, like they all just kind of split up on the playground, and I had to watch what the hell this was. And I was the type of kid that I learned when I saw things. So it's like, if you get on a swing and if you start swinging, and then if you fall off and hurt yourself and you start crying, I made a note to myself and I said, oh hell no. Because that happened, because one of my classmates got on that thing and was swinging and hurt themselves, I am never getting on a swing. Like, that's how I learned as a kid. And so when I seen that, what they were doing on a playground, I just didn't get it. And poor things, like the boys, they were looking at these girls with their heads tilted to the side, like they were trying to, like they didn't get it either. They were just like looking so confused, and these girls were like, oh, do you like it? And these boys are like, huh? Like they were, and I was like, right? I don't get that either. And what was so funny was that the boys wanted candy, you know what I'm saying? And it's just so weird. It was just so weird. And that was 4th grade. When I got into 5th grade, we were playing like these ball games, like with a dodgeball, and we were just like making up our own, I don't know, like just stupid rules and things. And I don't know, like it's so hard to explain. But it was too, like the, I don't know, I guess like the wording or the sentences or the game went somehow, like you have to answer a question and you can like bounce the ball, or like, something like that. And the girls were saying things like, oh, your mom is so dumb that she thought a cactus was a condom, or not a condom, like a dildo or something. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I know what a cactus is, but what the fuck is a dildo? Like, and everybody that was playing the game were like, ew, or oh my gosh, and and like me, I just kind of like went off reactions. So like when everybody was like, ew, that's gross, that's disgusting, what did I say? I was like, ew, gross, I don't know what it is, but I guess it's disgusting, ew, 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 So I guess you can say all through my childhood, I got away with it because of their reactions helping me out. And then it was like, let's see, 6th grade, when, oh my God. Okay, first of all, when I was in 5th grade, I was bumping the song by Moke and Steph called He's Mine. And it's a song about cheating and like sex, and you know what I'm saying, like this, oh my God, like making love and shit, and I was singing that when I was in 5th grade, not knowing what the hell it was, and in my mind it was a love song, it sounded good, they're singing, and it was like my favorite song. Like it's oh my God, just oh my God. That was in 5th grade. 6th grade was when TLC came out with their second album, Crazy Sexy Cool, and it has songs like Digging on You and Red Light Special, and those are like all sex songs. And I bought that album, and Chili's on there, like she's moaning, and then like there's a song called Let's Do It Again, and oh my god, like, and see, I was like listening to all those songs and I was singing along to all those songs, not knowing what the fuck they were talking about. That is embarrassing. Um so yeah, like I'm just like anyway, I don't know, like it's just it's so embarrassing. So silly, but it's like my mind remained pure. And see, I was like really big like into music, and even as a child I was listening to like Two Live Crew, and they're singing of, oh my god, like they're like the nastiest group, male group out there, and it's just, and I'm like singing along to all of that. And oh my gosh, like who else was nasty as fuck? Like I was, and I'm just a kid, and I'm listening to like hip hop, and singing along to whatever it was that they was rapping and singing about without knowing. In or junior high, SWV came out with an album called Release Some Tension, and we all know what that means. But see, me, it's like it was something else in my mind. Like, I don't know. And then they came out with like Can We, and then there's like I wanna ride you all night. Like there's that song. I don't remember the name of that song, but like I was singing along to that. And like even when they came out with like New Beginning, like that one came out when I was in 6th grade also. And they had like a few sex tracks on there. So for me, like it just didn't click in my head. Like why are they moaning? Like, I guess I took it like it was a humming. You know how you hum to a song, like that moaning. I thought it was like a harmony thing. You know what I'm saying? I was that I was that pure. And in junior high, they have like sex education. I never took that. I never took that class. Why? Because I've been traveling so much alongside my parents to this day, ever since I was a baby. I've been traveling everywhere. And so my parents, they would always pull me out of school. That was why I missed sex education. So I got through junior high listening to Tupac, listening to, like all those crazy, like Genuine, and, all, listening to, like Foxy Brown, Jay-Z. They all had like mentions of sex and fucking and, all of that. Got through junior high fine, um and I'm missing a few things, but I guess I'll say it like in a second, like after the break. But what I'm gonna go into right now very quickly is when I got to high school. The junior high contacted the high school, and they said Audrey Alcoinva has never completed sex ed class. For like after lunch, have her come back to the junior high, and it was like literally like right next to each other, so it was like just like a short walk. Send her over after lunch, that way she can take I think it was like 2 or 3 hour sex ed class. She can sit in with the seventh graders or something. That way she gets her, she can get a pass on her records. So when they told me I had to go back just for the afternoon, I was like, okay, cool. So I went over and I'm like sitting in with these other fucking kids that were younger than me. Oh my God. I was, oh my God. Like, I was so scared. Like, we're sitting there fucking watching porn, and everybody in there was like all giggly and like, oh my God, and like blushing and, just making fun of the whole thing. I'm sitting there like with tears in my eyes. And the reason why I was borderline going to cry was because of what I told you guys. That what I was seeing on the screen was what was done to me, and I was forced to do. And especially when they said, oh, you don't do this until you're really in love, you don't do this until you're married, or you don't do this until you're ready to have a family, you don't do this, like it I felt it was really, really bad. Especially like, you're seeing the guy, like touch himself, and then they like introduce the condom, and I'm like, that's what a fucking condom is. Like, I was devastated. And then they were like talking about like toys and things, and adult toys, porn, and like diseases, and like pregnancy, and see, like all of that was just thrown at me like in 3 hours, and I was forced to sit in there because there was, I believe it was like 4 times I tried to leave and they told me to sit down. They never once asked what was wrong or why I was so upset. Like, nothing. And that's where they failed as teachers. But after all that, I was scared of everybody. I, if you were a guy, I told you to like stay the fuck away from me. Don't touch me. Like, I had, I it was bad. And I remember leaving the class. I went to the girls' bathroom. I didn't even want to sit on a toilet seat. Like, I was that scared. I didn't want to touch anything. And I cried. I was bawling. And I just totally forgot that I was in junior high. Like I went, yeah, I stayed on the junior high campus. I said, fuck this shit, fuck this whole day, I'm leaving. I walked home crying. And see, I had a CD player Walkman. I couldn't even listen to my music because it all made sense. I listened to, oh my God, like I had my CDs, and when I heard a song and like a mention of that stuff, Oh my god. I just walked home with no music. And music was my everything. Like music was my everything. It still is, but at that time it was like SWV betrayed me. Like I felt like I was lied to. I felt like I was betrayed. Like I felt like I couldn't depend on them anymore. I felt like they did me dirty. I felt like, how could you guys do this? Like, having sex is the worst. Having sex is a no-no. Like, having sex is just as bad as doing drugs and violence. And like, it was that bad. Like, I just felt like I hated everybody, because it's like now I hated all my classmates because they were all like talking about it, about what they've done and who they're doing it with, and shit like that. And I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about, and I thought it was just like a crush thing, and just like a kiss, and like that was it. Like, and what's so crazy was, when I was a kid, I never asked, or I never had that curiosity of, where do babies come from? Like, I never had that curiosity. Never. I never asked that question of my parents. Like, they gave me a Cabbage Patch doll, and it's so funny because we were talking about it yesterday, and I named him Tellity. That was his name, and I miss him. I miss my Cabbage Patch. But even that, like, I never, I knew Tellity was my son and I was his mom, but I never was like, by the way, where do babies come from? Like, I never had that curiosity. Like, never. And I did not listen to music for a very long time. And when I went back to high school, I just felt like it was everywhere. I felt like I was just around sex crazed classmates, and when they talked about something, I'm just like wanting, like, I just was dying inside. Like, I'm just like, when you live kind of like in almost like a small town, not that it was like, we're like on the outskirts of like Phoenix, but it appeared like it was a small town. You're in high school with people that you first went to kindergarten with. So basically, you grew up with these other kids. And I felt like I didn't know them, because they knew shit all this time that I did not know. It's like, who are these people? Who are these, and I just looked at them, that like they were just the most disgusting things that I went to school with all this time, and I too felt like I was betrayed by them. So yeah, it was pretty bad. And yeah, it was that, it was like that. And I had a really hard time, a really hard time. And the hardest thing too was just, I really felt alone. Like, I felt like I'm gonna die alone. You know what I'm saying? And especially like what happened to me at 7 years old, being touched and being told that it's playing was actually wrong. And in sex ed class, they say, children aren't supposed to be exposed to that sort of thing. It should be told to them, talked about, explained, and practice abstinence and protection, and see, like, I didn't have any of that. And realizing what was done to me, I didn't know how to be around my family members. And yeah, stay tuned. Hey, what's up, you guys? It is me, Miss DJ Hoodie, getting back at you guys with the second portion of this episode of We Don't Know Part 2. And the time right now is 8:42 p.m. So, yeah, I went the whole day without finishing Part 2 from this morning. I'm sitting waiting for a ride in Uber right now. So yeah. Okay, so finishing up part 2. Yeah, that's how I learned about what sex was. And I mean, what can I say when I'm over it, you know? What can I say? It's already been done. And some people had asked me in the past if that has really interfered with me having intimacy, and actually, no, it doesn't. It did at first. Oh my goodness, oh my gosh, you guys, like, my life is just so crazy. Oh my gosh, like, I don't feel like I owe you guys anything as far as an explanation, but it would make a lot more sense if it was explained, and why things happened the way that it went, and how it's going, believe it or not. And that should probably be my next podcast. It will not be a part 3 though. It's just gonna be like a whole different topic. And let me tell you guys, I don't like the fact that these podcasts are all revolved around me, because I know a lot of people think that I'm self-centered and all I do is talk about myself. But when people ask me things and how I get by or get through things, what makes me strong as a person, and just my own personal experiences, I'm guessing that they learn from them. But for me, especially like with the Why Run podcast, my whole thing around why run is, why run? Like, why run away from all of these things? Because I got okay. I got to, not really saying I have to go, but I'm going right now to go pick up this person. And you know, that's the whole point of why run, is to not run away from your problems and recognize what the heck is going on and face it. And you know, I know a lot of people don't get that, and that's perfectly fine. But that's the whole story behind why run, is the whole purpose of why run, is from all my experiences. And you know what, I really should, I'll pause this and I'll get right back to you guys. Hold on. Hey, I am back. I did 2 rides and now I'm just kind of waiting for the chime to come on. But what was I talking about? I don't remember what I was talking about. Sorry, you guys. But was it the meaning to why run? I don't remember. But my whole thing is teaching those not to run away from their problems, like face it, like why are you running? And I don't want to, well, the whole purpose too to why run was to have more spiritual insight, and spiritual things do happen in today's modern society, and I'm just trying to help people recognize and to see that it does happen in everyday life, and I don't really believe it to be within a certain religion, but it's just positivity, it's negativity, it's vibes and personal space, and it's all of that. And with why run, it's like there's more to it than someone being angry with you, like it's jealousy, and all of these things I believe can manifest into something, I don't want to say greater, but something worse. And that's something that I want to make aware. That's why it's like it's very important to face these things head on. And there's times where things are gonna get down or get you down, and it may stay down for a while, but if you have a strong mind to get yourself out of the situation, yeah, you can hurt and you can cry and you can like go through the feelings. I know I mentioned that before. Go through the feelings, and that's the only way and the best way, one of the best ways to really get to know yourself, is when it is that self-awareness. And that's a lot of people, I think they lack that, because that's why nowadays everybody's like, don't get caught up in your feelings, and it's bad to, it's just bad. Like that's what people kind of make it out to be. If somebody wants to correct me, I'm open, but I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna try to prove that person wrong. But I personally feel that there's a lot more to it than what that person may see, to what another person may see, and vice versa. But the whole thing is to try to understand not just our feelings, but each other's feelings. See, that's where recognition comes, not just within yourself, but within other people. And a lot of people, I feel, have a very hard time with that. So why run? It's going to fill that void, but it's going to surface a lot of shit. And that's what I want. You should want that too. And face those things, and don't run away from it. It's like, because for me, it's like, why are you running? Why run? Face it. Fix it, solve it, and you'll be happier, you'll be stronger, you'll be knowledgeable, and things will just come a lot more clearer, and things may just fall more better into place quicker, and it's probably going to be a lot more easier. And it's okay, you know, like that's the whole thing. And with me being molested, it I looked at what happened to me in this way, and I know that is the very reason why I'm not damaged, and I'm not holding that within myself. And when it comes to the people that actually have done that to me, it's like we know. And because we know, I could fuck up your life by telling and saying and confronting you in front of other family members, like, this is what you've done. Now you have to answer to your children. You have to answer to your wives. You are this shitty person. More coming up after this ride. Hey guys, I am back. Just got finished with the ride. I actually lifted this guy before, like a year ago, I think. And yeah, he was telling me that he's moving to Colorado in a few months. So we were just kind of talking about that. And the first time I lifted him, like, we were not talking. Like, we were just like dead quiet. Like, we didn't know what to say to each other. But I was like, hey, I think I lifted you before. And he's like, yeah. He's, I'm pretty sure you did. And yeah, we just started talking from there. It was cool. So yeah, back to the Why Run podcast and its meaning. That's what Why Run represents. That's why I created Why Run, is to just face these things. And you know, as I was saying, that's why whatever happens to me, yeah, I actually go through the feelings. Like, I really do. Like, I cry, I get angry, I feel everything. And that's why I know myself more than anyone could ever know me. And people, they have their bullshit assumptions about me. Like, a lot of people say that I'm spoiled. A lot of people say that I'm self-centered because what? I talk about myself a whole lot, like what I just mentioned a while ago. And it's like, experiences, people. It's not like I'm so in love with myself that I talk about myself. Like, it's not even that. Like, I've been through a lot, even like in my early 20s. Like, I've been through so much already in a short amount of time. And a lot of people, they just couldn't get it. Like, they just assumed a lot of things that were false about me. And it's like, I know myself. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been through a lot of bad shit. Nothing as far as like, well, when I say gone through bad shit, that simply means, like, you know how I told you guys about the swinging? Like, if you're swinging, you fall, you hurt yourself, I'm not doing it. I'm done. Like, I will not. So when I say gone through a lot of bad shit, is that I have experienced bad things, but I never ever stuck around. I never allowed myself to put up with it. So I've been in physical abusive relationships, and it was like, you lay a hand on me, we are done. Like, I will not listen to your sorries. I will not listen to, like, how much you're stressed out. You put your hand on me. So I know now not to be with you. You are not good under pressure. You're very quick to get angry, and you put your hand on me. I do not want this life. So bye. Like, that's why I'm really good at letting people go. Like, I'm really good at that. And a lot of people are afraid of that. Like, they're, it's like, if you fuck with me, if you like fuck up our friendship, or like, I'm just straight done. Like, I will not check up on you. I will not stalk your Facebook page or Twitter page. Like, you're like, I can train my mind so well that, like, I didn't even know you. Like, I've never fucked with you. We never had any kind of interaction. Like, I'm very good at that. And a lot of people, they pop back up into my life with their sorries, or sometimes it's not even apologies. Like, some people, they pop back into my life like nothing happened, and it's like, okay, you want to play that game? I can play that shit too, but I still will remember what the fuck you did, how I felt. A lot of people, they say, oh my God, you didn't let that go, or oh my God, you're still hanging on to that. And it's like, how you treated me okay? So if anyone's in denial, you're in denial, because you want to act like you didn't do anything to me. See how people can manipulate and twist and turn shit to make you appear like you're the crazy one? I don't think so. I will make you feel like shit, because you should feel like shit. And you should apologize. And you should recognize what the fuck you do to people. Like, you're an asshole. And some people nowadays, they take that as a compliment, and and those people, I stay the fuck away from. I really do. But what happened to me as a 7-year-old, yeah, like, I had problems, like, just the way I learned as a kid. Like, see, that's like a whole nother podcast too in itself. I just took things real too literally, and a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like, I wasn't that serious, or oh my gosh, like, that was just a joke, or oh my gosh, like, and it's like, you can't tell a child that, and to me, when people say that to me, this is my opinion, you guys can drop your opinions if you want, but to me, it's like, you're playing games. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you say this, for me, it's like, do what you say you're gonna do, and mean what you say you mean, and with people, they say, oh my God, I was just joking, like, oh my God, you took that too literal, like, oh my God, you're so stupid, and oh my God, like, see, like, they're blaming you, and it's like, you're the one playing games, like, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. Like, that's how I am. And a lot of people, they're not used to that. So when I actually act on those things, they still look at you like you're crazy, because they're like, oh my God, I was just kidding, and oh my God, you actually did it. And it's like, you have a mental illness for, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why is it I said I was gonna do it, and I did it, and you're calling me crazy? Like, to me, that does blow me. But again, if you respond to me in that way, if you talk to me that way, I will not fuck with you again. I will not. Because explaining is stressful. It really is. Having to explain myself right now isn't stressful because I should not be the only one that feels this way. I should not, and that's the whole thing about joining communities, is to align these facts, our facts, with each other's and care for one another. And a lot of people, they're not into that because why? They don't want to be all up in their feelings, and it's more than that. It's like, I'm stronger than you because I can be all up in my feelings and be all right and be stronger than you because you can't. And let me tell you, a lot of people think that that's bullying, or that's, talking shit, or, like, a lot of my content gets taken down because I guess I speak this way, and it's my passion. That's what you're hearing is my passion. But see, a lot of people, they don't know how to listen to the message. They only give a fuck about the tone in your voice. That's crazy. Don't you see how backwards that is? Like, how are you going to listen to the tone in my voice and not listen to the message? Something's wrong with you. If you want to point fingers, But whatever bad situation that I get into, yeah, I do get down, I do get sad, I do cry, I do get angry, I get depressed, I get stressed out, I get headaches, and I lose my passion. I can't work, I can't drive, I just have no conversation for your ass when I am this way. But once I go through those feelings and healing myself, even though it takes days, even though I don't care how long it takes, the bottom line is I'm going to get better. And no more, Do these feelings come back? Yes, they do. I am human. I'm going to feel. And I wouldn't have it any other way, because being not all up in your feelings, like, avoidance. Oh yeah, that's solving everything. Avoiding it. That's weak stuff right there. That's a weak person. I am not that. I will confront you. I'll ask you. I'm not going to hit you, but I will ask you, like, hey, are we okay? Like, I feel like you're mad at me. Like, I'll ask people directly, like, and people, they cannot handle confrontation, but they're the first ones to play a video of people running up on someone, confronting, let's do the air quotes, confronting, and then just straight beating the hell out of it, and everyone whipping out their phones. No one's calling the damn cops or the ambulance. No one's trying to break it up. But you can't take an adult conversation and not beat each other up and not get in each other's faces. But see, that's what people are comfortable with. They adapt it to that. And I don't think it's right. That's terrible if you ask me. But people, I do not like saying, oh, it is what it is. But it's so sad that people are conditioned this way. And I don't need them around me. About confronting my molesters, I should say. I played their game, because they've shown their faces quite recently. And for me, it's, I hold the key. I got the hammer that would shatter their lives, and I'm not saying I'm going to use it to my advantage, but it's like this. I will say it when I am on my deathbed. And I can leave this earth while you go on with your shit life, having to explain yourself to everybody. And for me, it's not quite as getting back at somebody. Like, it's just, yo, by the way, since you lived your full life getting away with it, let me tell you guys something of what this piece of shit has done. And however it's gonna work out after I'm gone is just how it's gonna work out. I wouldn't even come back to haunt their asses. I wouldn't. It's left, it's done, and somebody's gonna know. And I've already told my folks about it. But there are traitors out there. There are people that are still interacting with them, that are still in my life. And, even that is a betrayal. But where does that go? That's in my brain and that's in my heart. I will never forget that. So if there was an argument or a question of who do I trust, see, right there, I know who not to trust with my life, because they still interact with these people, even though they know what they've done to me. See, that's what hurts, but it's gonna come out when it comes out, and I'm not gonna force that. And that's why when I think about the teenage girls with R. Kelly, I kind of understand that. The justice system is all screwed up. Not everyone gets justice, and nobody really gets what they deserve because they got money. And if they got money, they got protection in jail. They got all these lawyers, and they got, people that put the fear in those people to not speak. So you kind of got it made behind bars. Like, you have you have a system. It's your own system, and that's how you want it, you piece of shit. Like that's really how I feel about it. And for me, yeah, it's you have to realize that you just may not win, and it's okay to lose. Yeah, they'll get their shine right now, but a lot of people, they like to talk karma, but I don't think they really understand karma. They just see it as something that fires back at you. True, but there's a lot more to that. And you got to use your brain, you got to use your heart, you got to use your feelings to really know what karma is. And again, that's what people lack. they can say, oh, that's karma. That's karma at its best. Oh, I love when karma just comes at your ass that fast. But it's more than that. It's more than that. Oh, why can't you see there's more than that? You know, like, it's a lot of people think they know, but they don't know. I guess that's it. That's all I got for this podcast. I was supposed to come out with this yesterday, but you know. I still hung out with you guys this morning and this evening, and it's 9:50 now. It's almost 10 o'clock, and I'll probably stay out driving until 12 maybe. Like, I gotta move away from this area. I've been here, sitting here, and I didn't get any rides, so I always like to change up my locations. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. But I hope you guys really, really learned something, not just how embarrassing it was for me to not know what sex was and be able to go through my childhood and the majority of my teenage years not knowing what it was, and just how I dealt with it. How I got over it when it came to music. I listened to the songs that didn't talk about that, like didn't rap or sing about that. That's kind of how I transitioned to, you know what, like, studying their lyrics and studying who they are as an artist and their hardships in life and the shit that they go through, being discussed in articles and radio interviews and things. It was like, okay, like, they're not all about sex, so they're really this magnificent singer or rapper, or they're still great at what they do. They have talent, and I still admire them. So that's kind of like how I got out of that. But yeah. In the next podcast, I don't know if it's gonna be an entire podcast about what I went through when it came to intimacy, but it will be mentioned for those that maybe you guys still have a hard time with it. If anything happened to you like what happened to me, if it still bothers you, because sometimes I do, like, I enjoy intimacy, like, I really, really do, but there are times when I think about it and I lose that feeling for a while, and I can discuss how I get out of that, and what I've done, and in hopes that it will help somebody out there. I don't know who, but that's the great thing about content, is that it's out there for anybody at any time. So I hope you guys appreciated this podcast and you guys got to know me a little bit more. It's my life, and it's what I went through, and a lot of people went through a lot more worse shit than I did. Mine is just a fraction of, not even a fraction of that, like, but it's there. It's me. It's how I learn. It's how I think, and it's how I feel. So if there's anyone out there like myself that has been through through similar situations, the content's there. So thank you guys so much for listening to the Why Run podcast here on the Kivas.fm. And don't forget to add, rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And yo, I've been saving this. I know I didn't mention it, but I'm going to mention it now. Your girl is finally back on iTunes. I was off of iTunes for about 2 years. My content got rejected due to what I received was the things that I talk about, and the titles to my podcast. They were a bit I don't want to say graphic, but inappropriate, I should say. But I'm back on iTunes now, and all you guys have to do is search the Why Run podcast, or my name, Audrey Alcoinva, or Miss DJ Hoodie, and it should pop up in iTunes app and desktop. So I'm quite happy to be back on iTunes, man. It's been too long, and yeah, I have a lot of great content coming up for you guys, and I hope you guys will tune in and listen and support, and share and interact, comment, all of that. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, until my next podcast, I'll talk to you guys then. Peace.